going on? What's going on, Foodie Gang? You're tuning in to Kitchen Talk with Chef Big Bank, Season 1, Episode 49. So if you missed any episodes, be sure to go back and check them out. Hit that like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share this with your friends. And as always, to support this platform and keep the stove on, you can hit the Cash App at Money Sign Chef Big Bank. Today, we're going behind enemy lines and we're talking about prison food. And I have Real Talk or No Talk podcast here. Make sure y'all go subscribe to his YouTube channel pinned to the top of the chat. So I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is George, and I'm the host of Real Talk or No Talk. And today, we're going, behind those walls, and we're going to be talking about all sorts of different things. But hey, big shout out to you for that intro. I was over here grooving to that intro. I'm thinking about food, like yeah, big foodie gang, yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming. This is the first time anybody from my city has graced my present or graced, the foodie gang. So thank you so much for supporting and coming up here and telling your story.
Yes.
How can foodie gang find you?
We're actually Real Talk or No Talk. We're on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. All you got to do is type in Real Talk or No Talk. Facebook. We're pretty much in all the algorithms, and we got a lot of good things in store. We're also a nonprofit, so eventually you guys will see a lot of different things happening in the community here. That's going on behind the scenes, and yeah, we're kind of everywhere now.
All right. But thank you so much, Foodie Gang, for everybody that is here early. We got Big Giz Composition. He said, "What's up, people?"
What's
And he said, 907, I enjoy your shows. I'm so glad because when I started going live, I didn't know what I was going to talk about. And we up here, we 49 episodes into the live show. So thank you guys so much for coming out and supporting. What's up, Blow Hardy? He said, I'm hungry right now.
Mhm.
Thank you so much, Big
Yeah.
Giz. I had to come and show support, come and support. And as always, we got the lovely Randy always coming in and supporting.
Mm, nice.
And we got Hassan. He's somewhere in the building. If you guys have a YouTube channel, feel free to drop your links in the chat.
Yes,
And
please.
as always, you keep the stove on and money sign Chef Big Bang. So,
Mhm.
George, I know that you spoke a little bit about yourself,
Mhm.
but is there more that we should know about you?
Um. Well, I had a pretty tough background, so I have, been in jail, like as far as juvenile, state, and the federal system. And with that being said, I could definitely speak on how the food is. Overall, in general and things of that, just from personal experience. Jail is not a place where, nobody needs to be. You know what I mean? So we trying to teach people how to stay away from that, though. But I appreciate the opportunity to be able to talk about a lot of that today. Thank you for inviting me on the show.
Of course, of course. And let me ask you, how old were you when you first went to prison? And how did that whole cycle begin, or what age did it
Um,
begin?
I mean, it's that question when people ask me that, I have to ask a little bit more about the question because to me, juvenile started it all, and jail is jail to me. So like, it was the same thing. If you're not able to do what you want to do and your own free will, you told when to eat, go to sleep, and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah. So it started with juvenile. Actually, it's just that a few other turn of events happened after that to create that fate. But since then, I had a lot going on as far as being an author with a book. I'm still waiting to publish that, so people will be able to learn a little bit more about the book that I got called Day riot. So, and I've actually been free since 2011. So, and I've been able to turn my life around and create a lot of different businesses and do a lot of different
Yeah, can I have you talk a little bit louder or come a little closer?
things. Oh
Don't
yeah,
be
yeah, no
scared.
problem. No problem. How's that? That sound better?
Yeah, yeah, that sounds better. Don't be scared. Okay,
Mhm.
so you started with Juvie, and
Mhm.
then from Juvie, where did you go after that?
Then I went to Marion Correctional. It's a medium security in Ohio. I spent a little bit of time there, and then after I got out, I did about 6 months in the halfway house, and I got out for about 8 months, and then I ended up going to federal prison behind three people, writing statements on me and things of that nature. So that was how that experience ended up beginning.
And then from jail, you found out you were going to prison. How did you feel when you found out you were going to prison?
During that time, I had actually began to work on becoming a vegetarian too. It was bad because I wasn't eating, red meat at the time. I wasn't eating pork. I wasn't eating this. So I'm kind of really like kind of fit at the time. And when I got in there, I was like, "Hey man, you gonna eat that? Because once you get in there, you gotta you gotta start eating." So my diet ended up having to change again once I ended up finding myself under those circumstances again. But um, yeah, so then it was, moving forward off to go do what I had to do with that.
So when you first went to prison, you said you were vegetarian, and then it kind of changed because you had to eat whatever
Eat-
they were giving,
Yep.
whatever
Yep.
they were serving.
Because being a meat eater, you're just naturally stronger. Um, without meat in your system, you're kind of like weaker and stuff. So like, I slowly started to eat meat again. I was just trying to, I guess, figure things out, figure myself out at the time. I was 22 years old at the time, so you know, I was 22 going on 23 when that experience began.
And how long were you in prison?
I ended up being about 28, 29 when I got out, and I came to Anchorage, Alaska.
Okay. So you spent a majority, of time, a good
Right.
amount of time.
Right.
Overall, how would you say the food was?
There's an old saying that they say that food in federal prison is good, and that's a myth. It may have been good back in the 60s and the 50s and the 30s on back, but now today it sucks. They have a actual national menu that they started to enforce prior to me being released, and that sucked because as we would travel around from different places, we got a chance to eat different because of wherever you at. So, but they got smart and came up with a national menu, which means that every prison eating the same thing all over. So it kind of sucked. You know what I mean? It really did. But the most common foods in federal prison that is popular is fried chicken, hamburgers. Sugar is a hot commodity. Coffee. You know what I mean? So there is some things in there that's definitely valuable.
Okay, so can you walk us through dinner time in prison? And then, what's up, Emperor? How are you doing? Thank you so much for coming through. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button and subscribe to the YouTube channel. But how um can you walk us through dinner time in prison?
Yes. There was 12 units on the roster to eat. And what they would do is they would call the units by whichever unit they felt was the cleanest. So whoever was the dirtiest would eat last, and they would change that up weekly. So they would call chow, and people would take off to go get their trays. They would stand in line, and you would have a tray, and they would put your food on the tray, and then you would would go sit down. He would eat. They used to have a salad bar as well. They don't no more. They stopped doing that as well. They did away with that. But in the beginning, there was a salad bar with beans and rice and soup and salad, and I was kind of used to that. Even the Mexicans that was there was used to that. People would be taking that stuff back and cooking other stuff with it, and doing all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean? So that salad bar was a lifesaver. I loved it.
So was the salad bar self-serve, or it was like
Yes,
they would
yes,
give you it was self oh, okay.
yeah. It was
Y'all,
totally.
before we get into the nitty-gritty, I want to let you guys know that everything here is alleged. 907 Good Eats or 907 Big Bank Productions is not responsible. Everything said here is our personal opinion. But what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say that. And then you got the holiday times, like somebody like myself. I was involved with people that were paying people to cook for them. I was eating burritos, fried burritos. Like a lot of the food that I was eating came out of the kitchen, and people were selling stuff on the yards, cold sodas, like whatever you wanted. Fried chicken. They were frying chicken in the unit. So like a lot of the food that I consumed came from there. But I did go down there on holidays because they would give you pies and cookies, and so it was worth going down there on the holidays. But running down there every day, no, I didn't do that.
When you say running down there every day, you're referring to the cafeteria?
Yes, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Right.
Okay, so people were frying chicken in their
Yeah.
units?
Yes.
How is
They,
that possible?
they were doing it they were making stingers out of their garbage cans. Pour the grease in there, and they were they were
In the garbage can?
yeah, they were using garbage cans and different things to fry chicken and burritos and tacos, and so you get a lot of that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
So the hot oil wouldn't melt the trash can?
No, no, this wasn't. This is some other type of, like, they were sharpening, like they could make weapons out of breaking that garbage can down, whatever type of material is made out of. I don't know what kind of material it is.
That's crazy.
Yes.
Emperor said, sounds like the Detroit public schools in the military, minus the salad bar. I wish we had salad bars.
Yeah, I enjoyed them salad bars because guess what? The salad bar was also something different than what they were serving there. So like if you don't want to eat what they're serving, you could go over to the salad bar and say, "Well, hey, let me look over here. Let me get me some salad here. Let me get some rice." You know what I mean? So yeah, you can get what you
Emperor said,
want.
yeah, the oil doesn't melt. It's still garbage can. Okay, so the garbage cans were still,
They had different types of garbage
oh, they're
cans,
like a,
but I'm talking about something that was not steel though, but it's different. I wish I had one I could
how did they get heat to the garbage can?
some type of way they create like a stinger. I'm not really sure. I wasn't doing it.
Oh,
I don't know how.
that's very creative. I
Yeah,
can't believe it.
yeah. I didn't know how to do that, but that's how they also made alcohol there too. The White Lightning, and they was making all of that in there. Yep.
I think I heard about it. Isn't it called like wine or something?
No,
Isn't that
well
what
you
they
got. Well, listen. You got the. So it's just like anywhere else. You got the home brew and the regular stuff, and then you got the White Lightning, which is the next step up. And they say drinking that stuff will make you go blind. Like they're actually taking the stingers that they same stingers they use to heat up the thing to fry with. They're like shocking the alcohol. From what I hear, I've never seen this, but
called?
this is what they're telling me is done in order to create that stuff, man. So yeah.
Emperor said, "Yeah, that's prisoner wine. We call it potato juice." Have you ever heard that name?
Nah, I know like in Detroit, they do things, what I mean. Shout out to the D, man. I love Detroit, by the way, man. I got a lot of good friends out there in the D, man. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, by the way, the Midwest. So, I know everything with Detroit.
This is crazy how they made the food in the units. And Randy said, "How did they make the grease to fry
The
the
grease
chicken?"
come out of the grease come out of the kitchen. They bringing
So
all
it's
the.
already hot.
Remember I said in the beginning that a lot of stuff come out of that kitchen. They get the grease out of the kitchen to fry with. They steal it.
And then Randy, somehow they make it to where the trash can has heat.
You're right. They heat it up.
We
Yeah.
might have to do a show about this because I never heard about that. They was frying chicken in the units.
Yeah, we're gonna do our homework on it. We're gonna definitely do another segment about this, right? Most definitely, we're gonna come back and show you guys what it is. Y'all almost gonna make me have to show y'all how to do. Um, in California, they call it a spread when you take food from commissary and make it. In Cleveland, they call it a break. In DC, they call it a hookup. It's all the same thing. It's taking some sausages and mackerels and chips and like that's the kind of stuff that they would do in there.
I had that once before. Somebody made it for me, and they're like, "This is so good," but it was, I don't know. It was like I just felt like it was high in sodium.
It is, but that's all you got because that's what they selling you at the commissary. It's the only store in town. It ain't like you can go to Walmart and say I'm buying vegetables, and then to get vegetables in there, you got to pay for that. Remember, it's you got to pay for everything that come out of that kitchen, sugar, anything. You got to pay for everything in there. You could pay to have your clothes washed. You could pay somebody to make you some shorts. You got to pay for your haircut in there. Anything you want and do in there, you have to pay for it. So like people are making money and hustling in there. So that's how it is in there. Nobody's doing anything for
Wow. Okay, so I'm gonna read some of the chats. Emperor
free. Okay.
said, "We used to make potato juice in high school. We had lockers around the school with it." That's
Wow.
crazy.
Tell her I said that's wild to be getting drunk at school.
He also said, I think I know how they made the heat though. You take some old magazines or newspapers for fuel, rub it together for a spark. That's your fire/heat.
I imagine that method will work, but it was a little bit more civilized. I'm gonna have to do some homework again. I'm just gonna talk to some people and go and get some videos and we're gonna break it down. We're gonna get to the bottom of it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I never heard of that. So y'all make sure y'all hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And then, so did you ever work in the kitchen when you were in prison?
I did one time. I had a very short stint. I didn't even last 72 hours. Um, um,
What happened?
believe it or not, I'm the kind of guy that had that mindset about, I agreed with the items that was coming out of the kitchen to help the community out there, the people that needed stuff. So I didn't have a problem with, what I'm saying, being involved with, things that was coming out of the kitchen. You see what I'm saying? So I, what I'm saying, allegedly had 17 pounds of sugar. And when they busted me with the sugar, they were like, "Hey, what are you doing with this?" And I was like, I drink coffee, and my friends drink coffee, so you know, we need some sugar. And they was like, "Lock them up," you know.
So, what were you going to do with the sugar?
Believe it or not, like I told you, sugar is a very, very hot commodity. And a lot of stuff you buy out of the kitchen and resell it, so you double your money. So I'm gonna just tell you like this. I don't know the ounces of the bags, but you know how like coffee bags, the Keefy bags of coffee. You ever seen the coffee bag? One of those full of sugar would be $1. So imagine how many of those I could have got out of that 17 pounds of sugar. See what I'm saying? So it's really about, the currency. It was about the money. I couldn't tell them that, you know what I mean? But I'm just
Yeah.
being honest. Yeah, it was just to sell the sugar.
So, I know you said some of the high commodity items were coffee, sugar. What other items do you see being sold in prison allegedly?
Um, we're speaking food? I mean,
Yeah, food. We
okay,
talking about food.
okay, okay. They made cakes. Um, I said the pies, the burritos. Um, that's pretty much. That's pretty much something. I mean, like a lot of them other dudes that work in the kitchen was able to cook and make certain stuff that they would allow them to enjoy there and not taking it outside of the kitchen. So, those people in the kitchen always had a little bit more access to what's going on, beef and ground
Yeah.
beef and other different chicken and stuff like that. They were able to access all of that.
So with that being said, do you see a lot of prisoners wanting to work in the kitchen?
Absolutely, because the kitchen, if you don't got nobody sending you no money, man, listen, they going to the kitchen because the kitchen gonna feed you, and the
Yeah.
kitchen gonna give you some stuff to make some money with. Yeah, some bell peppers and them onions. They gonna be coming out of there every day. Them bell peppers and them onions. People chopping up and cooking every day.
Okay, okay. I got some comments from the chat. Emperor said we would take them little juices we got from the lunchroom, mix it with some sugar and yeast from home,
Right.
let it ferment for a week or so. That's your
That's
wine.
that home
I
brew.
was doing all that in
That's
high
home brew.
school.
Yeah, but that's that home brew. Like that's the cheap stuff in there. That's the cheap way. Like a lot of no disrespect to the natives, a lot of natives would make that and they would drink it. But they would sell the white lightning in the honey bear jars for $30. For a jar,
Really?
yes, for a jar of that full of white lightning, $30. Again, so you're looking at ounces. Whatever those ounces is on all of that, that's how they determining their money with that stuff. It's kind of crazy how they figured all of that out.
Okay, so what is the brew mix for the white lightning? Do you remember?
I know I never made it. I didn't indulge. I just watched how it made other people go crazy and fight and scream and holler and end up
Wow,
getting
people would
the
drink
whole
it and then get crazy.
yeah. Yep.
Big Giz composition said pushing sugar, my guy was a hustle.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Hustler.
Yeah, it was really about the money. You know what I mean? I'd never made wine, but guess what? The people that needed it, they would have bought it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They would have bought it.
Um so we know that you took the sugar, but what other items do you see people taking from the kitchen to resell
Um,
allegedly?
that's really it. To be honest with you, rice. You got to think. It's got to be stuff that you can tuck and roll. You know what I mean? These dudes be stuffing. You know what I mean? So you ain't about to be taking no bags of steaks. You know what I mean? So you, that's the most common stuff daily that's coming up out of there. Bell peppers, onions, chicken, burgers. They may so they might make like 50 or 100 burgers that day that they didn't made and got out on the yard for sale. So like you only able to buy whatever is available that day. So like some days we eating burgers, the next day it might be chicken fajita. I don't know, but whatever's going on, I'm like, yeah, I want in because I'm not trying to go down there and wait in line. That stuff isn't
So it
good.
sounds like you was eating kind of good when you was up in prison.
Right. And another thing in Memphis, I hated this. This is the first time I had ever seen this. In Memphis, they would take old food and turn it into something else. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh man, like they're trying their best not to waste food. So you start to like, that's like eating bad stuff to me.
Yeah, I mean, I be doing that at home. I ain't gonna lie, but when you do it in a big quantity, and if something has gone, it's too old, like you just know you foul.
Right.
You know you
But
foul.
but but I had never witnessed that. I actually been on 6 yards. I walked every yard that my feet ever touched. I was out in California. I was down in Memphis. I spent quite a bit of time in West Virginia. I was in United States Penitentiary Hazleton. I started off there. I've been in Maryland, Cumberland. I kind of moved around a lot throughout my experience. I lost my good time. I did 3 years in the hole. I got stabbed 13 times in a riot out California. I had quite the experience throughout my experience. So my experience, maybe because of who I am, just wasn't maybe what somebody's normal experience would be like. Kind of, I'm trying not to be biased. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when you went to the hole, what was your food experience like? What was the eating
The
schedule?
food is man, it's so terrible because now they're bringing it to you, kind of how you portionalize food. Like they got it's a top on it, you know what I'm saying? You got like a couple little slots with a little something in there, you know what I mean? Like, and then if you make them mad or you acting up back there or not doing what they ask you to do, they'll bring you all of your food at 11:58, 11:59 because they have till 12 o'clock midnight to give you 3 meals a day. If they still do it then. So,
So they would bring all three meals at one
oh,
time.
yep, yep, at the middle, like right before 12 o'clock midnight. That's the legal, like how it's written up. To you know what I'm saying, without them breaking the law or breaking the rules.
And like, okay, so if you were to eat one meal from prison, would you get full or is it like
No,
what are the portion
no, I'm
sizes
talking
like?
about. I'm talking about your stomach gonna be touching your back. Yes, yes, you about to get skinny. Yes, you about to lose weight.
Because okay, so sometimes I see people go to prison and then like get in shape, and then I see people come out and they're heavier.
I worked out every day. As far as that go, if you don't do nothing in there, then yeah, you're not. But most people work out anyway, work out every day. So that has nothing to necessarily do with, you know what I mean, um, coming out not in
Yeah.
shape. You know?
Have you ever seen someone get extorted
Absolutely,
because of food or for food?
absolutely, and money. There's people in there with $100,000 on their books in federal prison. I've seen the experience with a guy who had 30,000 on his books because his father died, and that was the life insurance money or something that they put on his books for him. And
Wow.
he showed it to the wrong group, the wrong group of people, and they put the squeeze on him so bad he didn't have anything, when it was all said and done, because he
Dang. But
ran
why
through
would they put all that money on his books though? It seemed
because that's
like
that's because it was his. So like basically his father died, and he don't trust nobody with his money. He like put it all on my account, and like I said, you can have up to $100,000 in your account in federal prison. So I mean, I would want it on my account too. My dad bought a house for 12,000 instead of putting it on my account, and I asked him why you ain't just put it in my account. So
wow, so he got it. He showed somebody the money that he had, and
mhm,
then they extorted him.
they did, they did for every cent he had. They didn't stop until he was broke.
Wow. And then that's terrible.
Yeah,
Did you ever were you ever a victim of a extortion?
absolutely not. I had 7 demonstrations that went on. I know those guys that was putting the squeeze down. Coincidentally, some of these people are my friends, but nevertheless, I can't judge nobody for what they do, and I'm not involved in certain politics. Certain stuff is not my business. But at the same time, though, it's not a good idea to show anybody how much money you got. Hello, like let's also be smart here and educate ourselves on what not to do. Okay.
Yeah, I agree with you. Big Giz said, damn, I know it's I like and then it's like who do you tell? Do you feel like sometimes allegedly the guards are kind of in on the extortion too?
No, the guards didn't have anything to do with it. You got to remember, man. I was on the East Coast, like where I'm at. The gangs was involved in a lot of what's going on, man. Like they run them yards and things like that. The police is scared of them guys. Like they be locking the yards down and all of that kind of stuff to prevent things from happening. So, like I said, the wrong group of people He showed that to the wrong group of people, and you know they made sure that they sucked him bone dry. He was trying to just be friends and fit in, and be cool. But you know what I'm saying? He made some a few errors that caused him to not have anything.
Dang. So when he got out, he had no money. That's like,
He didn't. He had no money before he was getting out. He probably still had about 3 years left by the time what I'm saying all that money was gone. Like he didn't have no more money left. He was walking around just like everybody like wow, like very sad.
yeah, that's terrible. What would you say would be the best dish that you ate in prison?
Mine was nachos, and that's why I said we're gonna have to do an episode where I'm gonna have to make me a nacho. You know what I mean? Right here to show y'all exactly how I go. I put chili on my nacho, honey. You know what I mean? Some jalapenos. Like we're using all of the stuff that you get from the store. Like, and as a matter of fact, to make it even funner, we could create a $15 or $20 budget that we got to try to keep it in. Walk right in any corner store and figure out because that's all you got there out in prison is corner store stuff. Kind of, you know what I mean? Like you're not about to get no, you know what I mean? The fish they selling you is in a pack. You ripping the pack open. You know what I mean? So it's all just kind of like corner store stuff.
So the nachos that you're referring to are those nachos that you made in your unit,
Yep.
or did you ever get anything from the kitchen that was your favorite too, as
Well,
well?
you can if you can get hold of beef and all of that kind of stuff, but they sell packs of chili. They sell cheese. Like this is the stuff they sell commonly down, and you are able to spend about $350 a week on commissary. Now I don't know who want to spend that much money on just
That's a
that
lot
drink.
of money.
I know, right? I know, but you're able to spend, or is that a month? I could be wrong. It might be 350 a month. I don't know, but they give you a certain cap. It's been a while since I've been in there. I'm glad I don't remember. But they give you a cap. You know what I mean? Just like with the phone, they give you 300 minutes a month. You get a little bit more, an extra 200 for like Thanksgiving and holidays. So then you get 500 minutes. But other than that, just a regular month, you get 300 minutes, and you got to make that last the whole month.
Big Giz Composition got a question for you about the guy that was getting extorted. If he had kept his mouth closed, he had kept his money, or he was gonna
Let me
get got
let me
anyway.
let me tell y'all a little bit more about this guy.
Yeah, yeah,
Allegedly,
tell us.
allegedly, his name was Scotty. Man, he was a white guy. He was pretty cool, man. He had like a black swagger and stuff. He gambled and things of that nature. And this is how he ended up finding himself, amongst these guys that he ended up finding himself under. Once he realized that he was being extorted, he went over to the white guys and asked them for help. And they told him the only way that they would help him is if he take this knife and he go and do such and such. And he was like, I can't do that. You know what I mean? So it was a lot going on with him and them. And it was people all outside in circles, and the police officers scared now because they see all of these groups of guys lining up, making a circle out there, and I mean it was just quite the sight to see. And they just talking about him now, and they feel like he's trying to use both of them and play one against the other. So now he's sitting over there
Oh,
with his hat down, worried. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah,
dang.
yeah, it get kind of crazy.
It just was. It seemed like it was all bad for that guy. Like
Yeah,
it
he,
just.
he had bad luck. He had bad luck, but it all started with him trying to be cool. Yeah, man, let me show you, bro. Yeah, look, man, I got, what I'm saying, 30,000 on my books. I'm a big man, and I'm a this, and like trying to be something instead of just keep your mouth shut, and just be quiet, take your money, try to make it out of there, man. Because people go in there and don't make it home. Like I said, I got stabbed up. You know what I mean? I never thought that would happen to me. And I got into a lot of different instances. I ended up falling out with somebody I was friends with from the street over a candy bar. It's not even about the candy bar because I ran a store in there. I had plenty of food. I didn't really have no issues about, you know, different things like that. But it was just the fact that he took it without asking. And I felt like if you would do something like that once, you would do it again. Like, all you had to do was just be honest.
So, well, if you want to, can you elaborate? So once he took the candy bar
What
and you
happened
confronted him.
what happened was, check this out. I was a hustler, a businessman doing different things. I sold coffee, I sold sodas, tobacco, other different things. But um, I had a bag of commissary, maybe $300 worth of commissary that somebody owed me. They went, got it, gave it to me. I needed to chase down some other money and some other things that was going on. So I gave the bag to him and I said, "Hey, can you take this and drop this off? I'm kind of busy right now. I'm on the highways and byways trying to, that's what we call when you're moving around, the highways and byways." So I'm handling some business, and then when I get back to where the property was left at, I noticed that, but it made me have issues with the person who owed me because I'm like, "Hey man, it, and he like, nah, it's in there." You know what I mean? He like, "Look, here go the receipt." He pulled the receipt out, showed me the receipt. I'm like, wow, okay. So now I'm like, okay, it's got to be this dude. But see, stuff like that's not cool, man. But I just left it alone and told dude I'm gonna leave him alone. I haven't never seen him again since.
Wow.
And he was
When you
happy. He was happy to see me because um, I was the only person he knew. But I was also an influential, person, at that time in the position I was in and things like that. And yeah, I love the cell phone. We dealt with the cell phone out of California. There was also a black officer that got busted by the feds. Guys told on him that was on the yard out there, and they busted him on his way to work, bringing us cell phones and all that. $1,000 for a cell phone.
Wow, I heard, I don't know, is it I don't know if this is true or not. I heard that people be throwing the phones over the wall
That's in
to
the
get
lower
them out of,
security.
to get them inside of the
Lower,
prison. Is that true?
the lower securities. You can't do that in the medium and the maximums, but people do be flying stuff over, dropping stuff. Like, you will see, stuff like that happening. But guess what? They also got prison yards that got a satellite thing that kills frequencies. There's yards that a phone won't even work on anyway. So, every yard you go on don't necessarily mean you got access to a cell phone in federal prison. You know what I mean? I'm preferably speaking about federal prison, not state prisons, because state prisons are different. Federal prisons are the rules and regulations are the same no matter what state that federal prison is in.
Wow, that's a lot of information. Okay, so we went over the best thing you ate in prison. What or your favorite dish? What was the worst thing you ever ate in prison?
Wow, wow. They used to. I'm gonna tell you the worst thing that I didn't like. Not that I didn't even eat it. What's that menudo? They used to have menudo on the salad bar. That's why I said like the Mexicans was loving it.
Isn't that like the pig skin?
And it stinks. It stinks so bad. Oh man, I couldn't mess with that, man. Right when they got rid of the salad bar, that was the end of the menudo. Like I know the Mexicans was mad because they like that. That's tradition with them and how they eat, and that's fine. But it just stinks, and I don't like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so with the salad bar being self-serve, were there utensils in it, and did anybody
So
ever try to take them?
I'm gonna paint the picture for you vividly.
Okay.
Imagine a bar, and in the middle of it, you got like the little trays where the food is at, obviously, and you able to dip down in there with your utensils and get what you want. The sides pop up, turn into like little tables, you know what I mean? And it got wheels on it. So they roll it in and out. Yep.
Wow. Okay, so when they got rid of the salad bar, did they add more vegetables into the food, or like on the side, or
No,
they were just like a lack of vegetables after they took the salad bar away?
it was just they went to a national menu. They stopped doing it. It's like, but you know what? They did start doing more. They gave them MP3 players. They gave us email. They got all kind of stuff going on. But a lot of that stuff was happening prior. Like as I was leaving, a lot of stuff was changing with all of that stuff, with those privileges that they were getting. Even though they were taking stuff away, I'm just saying they were still, giving us this, giving us that.
Yeah, make sure y'all hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and subscribe to Real Talk or No Talk. And as always, to support this platform and keep the stove on, you can hit the Cash App at Money Signs Chef Big Bang. And if you guys have any questions from the chat, feel free to put them in the chat and ask whatever question you want. What's up,
Yes,
Shane?
please engage.
That's a
Please
good one.
engage.
What's that? What were you saying?
No, I was just saying, please engage. They got questions. Ask away.
Yeah, and we're gonna drop the link if anybody wants to come up and ask a question. Whatever you doing, got to be appropriate. You got to have good lighting. You got to show your face.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever see any riots or fights in the cafeteria?
Um, I seen an incident once when we were eating. A guy that everybody thought was cool, he turned out to be a snitch or whatever, and we learned about him because they accidentally put the guy on the yard that he cooperated against, and we learned that he had video recorded his dealings with that man, called the police up, and took the footage to the police. Like so, we laughing like he was really, what I mean, on some private investigating, Hawaii 5-0 type time. You know what I mean? And it was funny seeing him. He did what we call the pump fake. Oh, man, somebody get my knife. Next thing you know, he go ahead and walk on over to the police and leave because he know, what I'm saying, the jig is up. Everybody know the truth, But the only riot I've been in was the one that I was in California on my birthday, by the way, 9/6/2010.
Wow. So okay, so he was pretty much talking all this mess, and he was really an informant.
No, he wasn't talking any mess. He was like a basketball coach. He was like a guy that everybody had respected and liked. But come to find out, they made a mistake because this happens sometimes. They made a mistake and let the dude out that he cooperated on. So nobody ever knew that he had done all of this. So all of that came out the minute that guy came out. And when they finally seen each other in the chow hall, that's when he pump faked and act like he was gonna do something, and then he just bowed his head and walked out gracefully because the truth was out now about you and what you did, and a lot of people didn't like that. You know what I mean? So he got out the way before something possibly could have happened to him. He made the wise move, but he made it look good. Oh, where my knife? Somebody, hey, I'm about to get him. You know what I mean? This mother who, and ain't gonna do nothing. You know what I'm saying? It was a good move though. It looked good.
But do you see a lot of that? Like a lot of like people trying to like kind of like fit in and really not being who they say they are?
You had a lot. See, when we talk about federal prison, it's layers to this, and we only touching the surface. There's fake paperwork. These dudes going back and forth to jail. You know what I'm saying? Telling in the kitchen to keep their jobs. Like if they catch a dirty urine, you got to tell on 3 people. So like, I mean, if you want to stay,
Really?
like, yeah, you got to give up 3 people. So it's so much going on. Everybody in there not cool. It's not good to be, you know what I'm saying? People jumping on people's cases. So like, somebody might want to try to get home to their wife or girl, so they might be cool with you, and then next thing you know, the prosecutor they calling you like, hey, this dude said that you said this, and you looking like I ain't never said this. You see what I'm saying? People hopping on your case like so they can get some get back. So yeah, it's a dangerous place once you up in that the belly of that beast, man.
Yeah. So, how long have you been out of prison, and do you ever see yourself going back?
I've been out of prison since 2011, and no, I will never ever go back to jail. I don't even do anything to break the law to go to jail. That's the thing. When you change, you got to change everything, people, places, and things. That is so true. God gave me another chance by sending me to Anchorage, Alaska, to be the person I am that everybody know me for today, and not who I was before, the person that I was and grew up to be. You know what I mean? And things of that nature. It feels so good because I always felt like God. I never had a fair chance. You know what I mean? Like I never asked for this life. You know what I mean? Like so, I'm talking
Yeah.
to God. You know, I'm fighting in the air. You know what I mean? We tussling together about it, and He was like, you know what? I'm gonna give you exactly what you asked for. And it took me a while. I realized this maybe 3 years after being here. I said, you know what? God gave me everything I asked for, and I ain't even really realize it. A chance to redefine who I am, a chance to be remembered for the positive person I am today, the hardworking man I am today, the nonprofit owner I am today, the fashion designer that I am today. You know what I mean? Like the business owner, like everything. So, all in all, this is the person that I really am. You know what I mean? I had to evolve and grow to be this purpose, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, that I'm glad that you got out of prison and kind of, what turn your life around, and you're not involved in the same activities. I'm glad that you did a complete change.
Hmm. They got a lot of sugar, honey buns, candy bars. They got ramen noodle soups, cup of soups, jack mackerels. I mean, when they did that national menu, it really hurt. Like I said, because guess what? You could be in Florida, you go all the way to Hawaii. Guess what? They eating the same thing when you get to the federal prison in Hawaii that they eating in Florida. It didn't used to be that way.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Like the menu was for like across the board,
All
no matter what state you're in.
every federal prison eating the same thing on the same day.
I don't know if you've ever heard this, but I heard this the other day that the prison system and the schools, the same food, or this it's the same vendor for the prison system and for the schools. Do you know if that is true?
No, but I know that we can do our homework. It ain't nothing to do a little bit of research to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah, I agree, because I didn't never realize that it was the same food being served in the prison was being served for our children. So I want to see if that is true and really do investigate.
You know what? I think I want to be a part of Big Bank's food investigative. You know what I mean? Program. So I could go deep cover and I might even go in and act like a regular customer and just sit down and eat to figure out what's going on. We got to figure out what's going on around here. We got to get to the bottom of this, man. We need food investigators.
Yeah, and that's why I have my food case study playlist on my page. You guys go check them out. We went over the avocados, the bananas, and the chocolate industry, talking about all of that, because there's a lot of things going on with the food that we just don't know about.
Well, I tell you what I do know about. I don't like hormones all in my food. I don't like what the GMO. I don't like the preservatives. I mean, me personally, if it's God's will, I'm going to buy me a farm outside of the U.S. I've already been considering this because I don't want to have to depend on the grocery store. So I need to be able to have my own meat and my own everything. Like this is something that that I really, really believe in, really, really a whole lot. I'm willing to put all my life savings and everything on that idea right there.
Okay, we got a question from the chat. I'm gonna pop it up there. Oh, that's the wrong one. Hold on. Okay, where did Real Talk hide his private food in jail?
Um, Most of the private food was being used then. You can't like really. You're not about to like store no eggs and you know what I mean and stuff like that. So whatever's coming out of there that day has been cooked already, or you know what I mean. Like we might buy 12 or 15 pieces of chicken, and we about to eat that. So um, other
So
than
you
that,
said you can buy chicken like
remember
already
I
cooked?
told you. Remember I told you. Yeah, because some days they be doing fried chicken, like that's on the menu that day, and that's why I said like I might go down there and eat the fried chicken, or I might go down there and eat the hamburgers because those are really good. But on them days, them people that work in that kitchen, they smashing their head. They busting their head getting 50 burgers, 100 burgers, 20 pieces of bird. Like you got everybody to work in the kitchen trying to get some chicken and burgers up out of there.
Do they be counting the food? Like doing inventory to make sure?
They supposed to, but you know them guys is smooth, the hand quicker than the eye and all of that. So like again, they you know what I mean? You know what I'm
They
saying? Yeah,
they
so
get the booster on.
yeah, and then they bringing it in the unit. And which is crazy because you got to try to walk past the guards, and they be out there just, hey, you come here randomly. You know what I mean? So like you might not make it. It's a 50-50 odds though.
But I mean, like, what do you got to lose? It's
Well, you
like
got a
you
lot
said,
to lose. You're gonna go to the hole. They're gonna pack up everything in your cell. You're gonna get it. You're gonna get written up. You're gonna sit back there until you're done, and then they put you in another unit. You start all over again. So and you lose good time. I had already lost all my good time. It didn't matter to me. I'll get home when I get there. So I didn't have life. That was my attitude. But shout out to the people with a better attitude than that, man. Stay away from jail completely. Don't break the law.
yeah, that was gonna be my next question. What advice do you have to young adults, that are in the streets and just on the wrong path? Like, what would you say to them?
I'm a definitely speak on that. We need to basically get back to getting trades and skills. That's the only way that you're gonna be able to take care of your family and sustain earthly life. Some people go to college and able to work that into degrees and different things and all that, and that's a wonderful thing too. But I'm talking about electricians, I'm talking about carpenters, I'm talking about chefs, I'm talking about plumbers, I'm talking about like these things used to be in our school system. They're not no more. When you start taking those skills away from people, what else is people gonna do besides steal, sell drugs? Like you don't really have a lot of options left. um, I'm actually now with the nonprofit organization thinking about feeding people. I'm actually thinking about doing my own cleaning academy where I can start teaching people how to do this so they can open businesses doing this. Actually go get a job doing this. Like I could teach a person how to clean a house, they can go open a business and get a business license and start doing it right now when they finish. So, that's what we need to do, man. We need to get them back into them type of programs, man, teaching them how those skills. So when they finish learning what they learning, they can go get a nice paying job immediately.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, to kind of like steer people in the right direction. But we got a question from Shampoo. He said, "Did you hide the salami in jail?"
I don't eat salami, so you know, I don't.
Oh yeah, you don't do pork, right?
Nah, I don't eat salami. No,
Oh,
I
I
got
think
caught.
that
Hey, I got caught with the sugar. They was calling me duffel bag boy. I had a little bag around me. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about that baby was. puff with the sugar. And you know what I mean. They also caught me with some photos. You know what I mean, different things like that because I sold pictures and I had a picture business going on for the entertainment business. I had an entertainment business basically. You know what I mean. So I sold food, entertainment, different things like that.
Wow. Did you ever, when you first went into prison, did you ever imagine that you would have like a store and you'd be hustling sugar? Like, did you ever imagine that?
No, I actually met a guy that was hustling like that named Onion. Shout out to him, Cornelius Lancaster from Cincinnati, Ohio. He was on year number 17 when I met him. He had been
Wow.
in 17 years straight. But I learned a lot about this from him, man. And I can't even act like, you know what I'm saying, I am who I am today without mentioning him. A lot of the people that I've met along the way, the good people God put in my life, I was able to take bits and pieces of them and make myself into who I am today. So I always got to give high honors to those men. That guy that I'm telling you about, he's successful today. He's a personal trainer. He has a property. He got out of jail and got his life together. And I will be interviewing him on my channel, so you guys will be able to learn who he is at some point.
Yeah, make sure y'all go subscribe to Real Talk or No Talk. The link is in the chat. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you're watching on the replay, go ahead and leave a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. So, yes, there's a link to Real Talk or No Talk. And then we also have some other YouTube channels. Links are in the comment. Please go subscribe to all the channels in the comment section. And if y'all have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. That is a lot to take in. I know you touched on it a little bit about the nonprofit, but can you let the foodie gang know everything that you have going on currently? Like, what are you doing since you got out of prison?
I've been running a successful cleaning company. The name of my business is Expert Janitorial. We do commercial cleaning, we do residential cleaning, we do automotive detailing, we do odor removal, we do disinfect and sanitation. We do carpet cleaning. I just bought a van. I got a carpet cleaning van. Um, I bought a truck to put a plow on, so I'm in the snow plowing. I'm like 16 pages away from finishing the birthday riot. That book goes into the riot that I experienced on my birthday at FCI Herlong, California, September 6th, 2010. I was stabbed 13 times, air flighted by helicopter from Herlong, California to Reno, Nevada to the hospital called Renown. They saved my life. They cut my lungs open and did an emergency surgery to drain the air and the blood out. And they, started doing the patchwork on all the stab wounds and just,
Wow.
helping to keep me still here today. You know what I mean? So yeah, that book here, I'm 16 pages away from that. I'm getting ready to start back focusing on that. But the nonprofit and the podcast has been really been my main focus. It's been something that I'm excited about. So I've been spending a lot more time, entertaining that though. But once I get that fully established, then I'll dive back into the 16 pages because that's really not that much for me to finish up.
Wow, it sounds like you have, you know, definitely turned your life around and, decided to change. And I think that your podcast and your business, everything that you have going on, I think is very motivating to other people that could be on the same path.
Most definitely. I want to cover a lot about PTSD. After experiencing that riot, I suffered from PTSD from that, and I had to go to counseling and different things like that. And a lot of people possibly suffer from PTSD and may not never even know about what the triggers is and how to identify these things and all of that. So on my channel, man, we're gonna get into a lot of that. I like to think that on my channel, man, we all on this healing journey together, man. And I know it's gonna be some days where I'm probably gonna, tear up, but hey, I'm only human, so we're gonna get through this together, though. So I'm excited about the content there. It's all gonna be real talk or no talk. So like everything, excuse me, is based on a true story.
Yeah, Randy said, "Thank you for sharing your story with us. Real talk. Congratulations on your success." And I
Thank you.
think that those are the tough conversations that we need to have to really help people, or to uh, even if we could help one person that is struggling with PTSD or is on the wrong path, if we could help one person, that's all that really matters.
And I also have some new merch I created. I am a domestic violence survivor. I'm an abuse survivor. A lot of those proceeds are going to go back into people, helping people who experience those things. I created those things because of what I survived and what I've been through, and wanting to be able to, you know, relate to people, man. I want people to know how genuine we are over here, and we're sincere, and we're willing to, do this with you one day at a time, step by step.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I mean, that's amazing. Do you remember what the first meal you had coming out of prison? What was the first meal you
Um,
had?
the first meal I had was inside the airport. I think it was Chili's or something like that. That was in Anchorage, in the airport. I want to say it was a Chili's or something like that. Hmm.
Yeah. What type of food do you eat now? Now that you're out of prison, are you back on the diet that you stated you were kind of doing before you went in?
I try to be conscious about how much beef I eat. I keep that to a minimum. I'm not gonna just not eat beef because, like I said, meat eaters are stronger um, than vegetarians. But it takes, if I'm not mistaken, 72 hours to digest 1 pound of beef. So, like, I'm not about to have burgers today, steak tomorrow. You know what I mean? You'd be surprised when they start to talk about how much undigested fat that we have inside of, what I'm saying, visceral fat and different things inside of the stomach. So, being conscious and aware of that with the personal trainer knowledge I have, I try to be very, very mindful, you know what I mean, on what I'm eating and stuff like that.
I think that's great. So you mentioned that you were a personal trainer as well. Can you tell Foodie Gang how you got on that path and what led you to want to do that?
So my guy that's in Cincinnati that I told you about, my guy Onion Cornelius Lancaster, he was already in tip top shape. He still is today. He's in his 50s, still having kids. But
Wow.
that was my celly at the time, and in order for me to be able to help him um, with his classes, because he was running classes already, I had to go. The prison would make you take courses and classes, so I had to go through all of that. And in the process of doing that, I learned from having to actually go through all of that to be able to help him run the classes. So, like, the classes used to be held inside the gym. So it might be one person, there's 50 people here. We would go from 18 to 25, from 25 to 35, and then from 35 to 55, and then from 55 and up. So, like, we know how much to work you and not work you. We ain't trying to hurt you. We just trying to help you, tighten all the way on up. But the type of personal trainer that I was taught to be, that's what I loved about it, is we actually working out with you. We're not giving you a diet and telling you what to do and making you watch something on a video. I'm sitting here doing everything 100% with you. So, and guess what? In the event that you're tired or it's too much, you just keep moving your feet for a little bit, catch your breath, and then you come back inside the rhythm. Because once you stop, the calories stop burning. And
Yeah,
3,500 calories to burn 1 pound of body fat. You see? So this is where you start to learn all of this stuff at. You know what I mean? And this is why I also say, depending on what you're trying to do working out, because everybody work out for different reasons and purposes, that's where having this information come in at to figure out what angle you gonna do, what equipment we need, when we're gonna weigh in. We're gonna weigh every 3.5 to 4 weeks after that. Because in between time is water weight fluctuating. You got people that weigh themselves every day, but that's not what you're supposed to do.
how often should somebody weigh themselves when they are
Once
on the
once a
huh?
month. Once a
Once
month.
a month?
Hmm.
Okay.
Once a month.
Because I do feel like when you start looking at the scale every day, sometimes it could be like kind of sad because you're like, oh, I haven't lost anything.
It's
But
gonna fluctuate off the water in your body. We're pretty much 60-70% water anyway. So it's going to fluctuate off of the food and the water and the undigested stuff and you know, all that kind of stuff. It's going to go up and down. But the true results, the real results that we record and writing down and documenting, that's every month, every 3.5 to 4 weeks.
yeah, you sound like a very busy person.
Believe it or not, staying busy for me is how I see productivity, growth. It's how I get a peace of mind. You know, it's just how I learned to cope with all of the stuff that I've been through. I'm really starting to realize it's a coping mechanism. I mean, for real. I don't even
Yeah,
know. I don't even know if that's healthy or not.
staying busy all the time.
Yeah,
Well, it depends. Do you feel like you're eating the right
I'm
things?
not eating the right things because I'm not. It's having the time, man, and prioritizing and everything. But um, I need to be eating right every day. If I could meal prep and have me some of those nice, great meals that you be making for like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I just put it in the microwave and just go, like I would feel like I'm in heaven. But having the time to take to be cooking and go to the grocery store and all that, I don't think I was built to be that kind of man. I'm ready to pay a chef.
Well. Anybody can learn how to cook. Make sure y'all
I mean,
subscribe.
yeah, I do and I can, but you understand it's just the time. I don't want to, like, I'm so busy with everything else. I don't want to take the time to do that. I'm trying to find a way to make it work where I don't have to take the time to do that. Like, it's hard.
Yeah, one day, y'all, I'm gonna sell meal prep meals. Are y'all gonna buy them?
I am. I'll find
But what does food mean to you? I know you said that food is like the one thing that's always there. So on your journey, what has it been to you?
I've been cooking a lot more lately because I've had a lot more time recently. I made a brisket, spaghetti, chili. Excuse me. I made turkey soup out of the turkey that we had left over for Thanksgiving. Well, now I know it was just me, but yeah, right. It was just me here, but I took the remaining. And see that right there, a bone broth. That turkey was some good eating. I put it vinegar and got it all off, and then I poured the broth off, separated the bones from the meat, and then put the broth back in there and cut the vegetables up. Mm, 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 mm. Mm. You want to talk about
I've
some good
had
eating?
bone broth before, and it was good, and it's really good for you.
Is it okay?
Yeah. When I lived in Portland, They used to have it was like a little restaurant that just sold bone broth and like everything surrounding it, and it was like different types, different from like different animals and stuff. But apparently, it's really good for you.
It is, from what I hear. That was my first time ever doing that. A lot of the stuff I've been making been real good, including that brisket, man. I really got a taste for another brisket, but that brisket is very expensive. I paid $60 for that brisket.
Dang, I haven't had brisket in so long because it is so expensive.
It is.
That's
It is.
why I think I'm about to become a vegetarian.
I can't
Think I'm
do
about to
that.
become a vegetarian.
I
So, are
can't.
there any more stories about prison that you have that you can share with Foodie Gang?
Um, the, with that, like I said, with that national menu taught me though. Like I'm the kind of person now that I'm ready to pay a chef for a national menu. Um, a lot of what I learned in there, which is what prison is supposed to do, honestly, rehabilitate you. It teach you how to have structure if you don't have structure in your life. Get up at a certain time, do this at a certain time. So um, I think that national menu was turned out to be a really good idea, but it's bad when you eating the same thing in every state, on the same day, like everybody. I didn't really agree with that.
Yeah, and they probably did that for money to save money.
They cut out a lot of stuff because they was buying too much different stuff every different way. Like you said, they was cutting costs and things like that.
Randy said, "What is your next goal you would like to accomplish?"
That's a great question. Thank you for asking. I'm gonna tell you exactly what the next goals is. Remember, we had this conversation, Randy. My next goals is to buy me a fourplex. I live in one and I rent the other three out. I'm going for passive income. I'm getting away from actually having to work physically. The next big goal, like I got kind of two big goals. I'm looking to buy a building for the nonprofit to feed the homeless people here and possibly have my cleaning academy at. Um, so I'm trying to do that and buy a fourplex. So real estate is my next biggest accomplishment.
I think that's a good goal. If it seems like real estate is a good long term strategy, especially if you want to leave generational wealth or at least begin to start having some type of wealth. It does seem like real estate is a good place.
Well, ha ha ha. I'm glad you said that because guess what? It's a little bit bigger than just that. There's a lot of ways today in America that you're supposed to be able to establish wealth and leave and leave wealth. You have 401k. I work for myself and I already have my own personal 401k. A lot of people don't even know they can set their own 401k up. So if you do decide to leave a job, get fired, laid off, you roll that money out of that 401k into your personal 401k. So a lot of times, even if I was to work a job right now that had a 401k, I'll have two. I'll still have my personal one and I'll have the one at the job. So like we got to think outside of the box. And guess what? It's not just a 401k. You got an annuity, okay? You know what I mean? You can set that up. Your own annuity. Like you have life insurance. I have life insurance. I have a policy that's paid off. So like I tell them, like my children, y'all don't gotta worry about nothing already. Cause I have more than one policy that I've been paying on. So there's a lot of ways to skin a cat, you see.
Yes. And do you plan to go over finance on your YouTube channel? Because that's also an area where I think people could.
You mean Patreon?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, anyway, I know you got a lot. I didn't even know you had a Patreon. That's the first
Yeah,
I
it's
heard of
already
that.
it's already established. It's already
Okay, okay. I didn't know you had a Patreon. Okay, I see you doing
Mhm,
big things.
mhm, mhm. Yes, ma'am.
But are you gonna go over it on YouTube or are you gonna
Oh yes,
strictly
yes.
review
We're gonna teach
that?
about business. We're gonna teach about business because I got a business book called The Financial Revolution. Um, It's tied to my business because I've been in business for 9 years. I've been 5 stars for 9 years. I've been in probably over 400 homes on Groupon alone, just off of that platform. And that's a third party platform. We're still on Groupon. I've been on Groupon since 2018. And here it is. We in 2024 now. So, um, I've been around, man. They love me here. They love us.
Well, you definitely seem like a hard worker, and like you really have turned it around since prison. And I think your story could help a lot of people out. And that's why I wanted to have you on the platform today, talk about food with you. And, if we could help one person watching this interview, that's all that matters. Hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and also subscribe to Real Talk or No Talk. As always, to support this channel, keep the stove on. You can hit the Cash App at Money Sign Chef Big Bank. We've been talking for about an hour and 30 minutes. Does anybody else have any questions from the chat?
Bring it on. Bring it on. I love it. I need this engagement.
Yeah, you got any more stories? It seemed like you saw a lot.
I did.
You saw a lot.
I did. I did. Respect go further than anything in a lot of situations. So I learned to make sure to be respectful, treat people with respect, give respect, especially if you want people to respect you. So
Yeah, I think that's very true. I think respect is what, is definitely lacking in our society. It is what it is. TV. Say he just subscribed to your channel. Shout out to you, Hassan. You guys go subscribe to It Is What It Is TV.
thank you, thank you. Yes, let's do it. It is what it
Rain said,
is.
"Are you going to write a book about your experiences?" Yes, Rain. He got something already in the works. A step away from
Oh, birthday
publishing.
riot. Yep. 16
Can you
pages away. Birthday riot.
Yeah, can you tell us, because like I know you also have a publishing company. Can you tell Foodie Gang about your publishing company and what made you want to write
Okay.
books, get a
Okay.
publishing company?
The name of my publishing company is called Inspired Meaningful Publications, and we just call it short for Inspire. A lot of the content that I'm creating is to help people, and I'm trying to, inspire people to be great, inspire people to not want to make poor choices and end up in prison and go through all of the crazy stuff that I went through. I'm trying to inspire people to become entrepreneurs, become self-employed, to invest in themselves, to open up 401ks, annuities, like these things that are here. It's crazy that these things are here for the everyday individual, but we don't take advantage of these opportunities because our mainstream society don't push that narrative on TV and commercials and all of that. So like, you getting yourself financially stable is something that you have to figure out on your own because nobody's gonna tell you how to make them work for you. So it's been a real fight to get to the top.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. It kind of sometimes you be like, dang, is things ever gonna get better? But I just dropped the link for No Captivity with Freezy. Make sure y'all go subscribe to that YouTube channel. Also, yesterday we went over the copycat McDonald's Shamrock Shake. So y'all make sure y'all check out that live stream. This is episode 49. We got 2 more episodes until we reach the end of the season. I was gonna go to 50 episodes, but now I'm gonna go to 51. We have this great interview that I just had to sneak into the lineup.
Aren't we in the 49th state, by the way?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
As y'all know, Alaska is the 49th state. That's crazy. I never even thought about that.
Mhm. Mhm.
So let me ask you, can you let Foodie Gang know how long do you plan to be in Alaska? Like Where do you see
Um,
yourself in 5 years?
the next 3 years, I'll go to the next 3 years. The next 3 years, I see myself possibly being down in Arizona, buying a property down there. I'll still have my building here and property here, but I'll probably end up buying another property down there, and I'll do an Airbnb in Vegas. I want to be closer to the Southwest coast, so that's where I want to be. I want to be able to drive to LA, San Diego, Vegas, or Arizona at the drop of a dime.
Okay, okay, we see you got big things going on.
Mhm.
So I think we're about to wrap this interview up. Thank you so much for coming through. Do you have any final thoughts that you
I
want to
just,
tell
I just,
Foodie
I just,
Gang?
I just want to thank you and Foodie Gang, gang, for inviting me over, letting me be a part of what's going on. And I think I'm going to join the Foodie Gang investigative team. I want to support that, and I want to go deep cover so we could get to the bottom of what's really going on around here. Who playing games around here with this food or not? You know.
Yeah, I agree, and that's why I do this, George, because there's a lot going on. Oh, I do have one more question for you. Okay, so how did you get the name the Lion? Because I know your real name is George, and you got the Lion on
That's a
Facebook.
good
So
question.
how did you
You
come up
ready?
with that?
You ready for this? Okay. Under the old horoscope, I will be a Virgo, but they have a new horoscope now because obviously the world spins around in a circle on its axis, so everything don't stay the same. So as I look now under the new horoscope to entertain what my horoscope would be, my new horoscope under the new one would be a Leo. And I seem to feel like I identify more as a Leo than I do as a Virgo. So that's kind of where the lion came in at. You know what I mean? Me feeling like the Leo helps to describe me today under the new zodiac. But this conversation,
Zodiac?
they do. This conversation right here starts a lot of debate right there. People be like, "Oh no, you the same old Virgo you been was." You know what I mean? So then some people say it depends on if you was born before the new zodiac or after. So I mean, like I've been in all these debates and everything. So
I didn't even know they had a new Zodiac and all of that.
yeah, you
They
want to
always
check and
got
see.
something new coming
You want to
out.
check and see if your sign will still be the same sign. But I mean, when I say new, it's not nothing that just happened today. It's just under with the way the planet shifts and everything today, it would be what I mean. If we were modern with it or current, you know what I mean.
Yeah, and this is George's Facebook page, so y'all make sure y'all go follow him on Facebook as well. We want to thank you so much. Don't go nowhere. Hang out with us. And then after the show, we can talk. But thank you guys so much for coming in and watching. This Tuesday, I'm gonna try to come back out with another live. But y'all stay tuned. Join my group on Facebook, Chef Big Bank Foodie Gang fan page, so we can stay in touch. And I want to let you guys know we just hit the 1,000 subscriber mark a couple of days ago. Thank y'all so much for watching
Yeah,
this far, hanging
let's
in there
go.
with me.
Hmm.
As always, you can support this channel and keep the stove on that money sign Chef Big Bank. Follow me on all my social media platforms listed down below. And if you're watching me on the replay, make sure you leave a comment down below, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And now I'm gonna hit y'all with the outro video. You got anything else to say?
Remember, keep it real talk or no talk.
Yes, and make sure you go and subscribe to Real Talk or No Talk.
Hmm.
It's gonna be going down over there. It already is. There we go. There we go. There we go. And I want to thank everybody that got in here early. Shout out to Randy, Emperor. It is what it is. TV, Unhinged Main Event Fro, Glow Hardy, Big Giz Composition. Let me see, Dr. Frizzle Frost, A Warrior Spirit. Thank you to everybody. Thank you to Shampoo. Thank you for everybody that came through. I will see y'all on the next one. Yes, Emperor said, peace and blessings. Be safe and careful. And please do not drink and drive this weekend. Yes, because you don't want to end up in jail or prison.
Let's be responsible adults now.
Yes. All right, I'm going to hit y'all with the outro video. I'll see y'all next time.
Peace.
This is Chef Big Bang. Thank you so much for watching at 907 Goodies. Make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you next Wednesday at 9 a.m. I'm out.